Hey guys, how you doing this afternoon? As you can see, I'm in my garage with the Iroc here, and I decided I want to try something. I want to tell you guys my Camaro story or my Iroc story. If you follow me on YouTube, and I'll put a picture of my YouTube name in here. I've got a lot of how-to videos on just to do things with your third-gen Camaro, things that most things I've taught myself, didn't know how to do. I read some stuff about it, but I want to tell you how I became such a nut over Camaros and third gens. So growing up, my dad, he had a lot of Camaros, a lot of second gens, third gens. He always had some kind of Camaro around. And I remember him having a 79 Z28. And we'd ride around in that car, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So when I got in high school, I wanted a Camaro. Well, back then, I couldn't afford anything, okay? So I wound up finding a 1986, just your standard base model Camaro V6 automatic for 550 bucks. And I bought it, and I drove that thing everywhere. Tore the transmission out of it because I didn't check the levels. I had to take a transmission. My dad had to take a transmission out of a Firebird, I believe, and put it in my Camaro. Well, eventually I sold the Camaro. And I always wanted another one, but I grew up super poor, and I've been working since I was 15 years old. And after high school, you know, I had to continue to work, and I went to college, and after college, you know, got married, had a kid, and just never really had the money or the finances to buy the car I really wanted. And my neighbor, he has an ungodly amount of Irocs, and he drove by my house one day in an 86 blue Iroc. And when I saw that thing, I fell in love with it. So I went on a 3-year journey, and I was very specific about what I wanted. I wanted a 1986 Iroc Z Camaro because that's the year I was born. It had to be blue, had to be T-top, had to be 5-speed. Now, those are some very specific things there I wanted. And I searched for about 3 years. In October of 2022, I saw a guy post one on a Facebook Iroc Z group I'm in. And I kind of talked to him a little bit about the car, and he told me that it was one of his friend's cars. His friend was killed in a hunting accident, and he was able to get the car from the widow. I don't know if he purchased it or she gave it to him. And communications just kind of broke down. So I just figured, you know, I believe everything happens for a reason, and when things are meant to happen, they will. So that was October of 2022. Well, October of 2023, I saw the car come back open again. So I immediately messaged the guy, and I said, hey, you know, we talked last year, very interested in the car. Give me the rundown on it. And he sent me all kinds of videos of it and told me everything that had been done to it. And it was a really solid car, but it needed some updating. So I live in East Tennessee. I called my stepdad. I said, I finally found the Iroc I want. Will you go with me to get it? So we drove 1,100 miles in 22 hours nonstop to a little town in Pennsylvania, right on the New York state line. We literally left at like 1 or 2 in the morning. We drove straight through. Only time we stopped was for gas and food. We got to this gentleman's house around noon, and we literally pulled in his driveway. I took the car for a spin. I could tell it was off a little bit, but I didn't care. I drove this far, and I wanted the car, and it was a fair price. So I put it on the trailer, and we came back to Tennessee with it. And since then, October of 2023, me and my stepdad, we worked on this car, did a lot of wet sanding on it. It didn't have any of the stickers on it, so I put all new Iroc stickers back on it. I redid the complete interior. And you can see videos of this on my YouTube channel. I took everything out, the carpet, all the way down to the bare metal. I checked for rust spots, everything. It's got all new carpet, all new seats, new headliner. You name it, this car has it. New seals, everything. And so we finished the car up in May of 2024. I'm a school teacher, and my kids knew I was working on this car, so they really wanted to see the car, so I wanted to have it done by the end of the school year. So the first day I got to drive it to school, all my students came out, and they got to look at the car, and they loved it just as much as I do. And I actually have a big picture of my Iroc on my board in my classroom, so all my kids know about my Iroc. Her name is Roxy. We all know about her. And since then, I just keep doing more updates. I've redid all the wheels myself. I went back, let's see if you can see them here. I redid these wheels myself. There's a an entire YouTube video of how I went about sanding these down and painting them. Put Flowmasters on it. Like I said, I've done a lot of work to this car. Before the 305 went out, I put a new cam, lifters, valve stem seals in it, new water pump, and I got to enjoy it for a summer, and then it went out on me. And partially it was my fault. So anyways, she's got the brand new 350 in her now. I took her for a spin today. The only problem I had, I was leaking a little bit of coolant. Turned out to be the radiator drain plug. It was loose, and I was leaking a little bit of oil, and I just got it done from being under the car, and all that was just my oil screw was loose, okay? So my drain plug, it was just a little loose, so I tightened that up. And I know a lot of people say, oh, a 350, you should have LS swapped it or something like that. Listen, I went from a 305 to a 350, and I did not think it'd be a big difference, but being in this car and driving it for the last several years with a 305, a 350 is a huge difference in this car. Now, it's got the 323 gears in it. It's 5-speed. I'm not going to bang on it real hard because I do not want to tear anything else up in this car, but it's got plenty of get up and go. I was told by ATK it's pushing 345 horsepower, and I believe that. It could be a little bit more. But so far, you know, I got to go on my first real test run with it today. Great oil pressure. Everything on the car was great. One thing I will have to do, I might have to tinker with the idling just a little bit, but the car is amazing. So, you know, I fell in love with these cars when I was a kid. I was about 36 years old, 35 years old when I could finally afford one of my own. And I'll never let go of this car. I'm always on Marketplace looking for more deals, mostly on third gens. Now, my dream is a first gen. Don't know if that'll ever happen or not. The second car I'd like to have is I'd like to have a 1979 Z28 like my dad had when I was little. So I'm always on Marketplace looking for things. I actually just went a couple weeks ago and bought my wife a 72 Super Beetle. And so I'm going to be putting a lot of videos out of the Super Beetle because as soon as springtime rolls around, I'm really going to get to work on that little project because other than paint, my Iroc's done. The paint is actually really good. Everyone tells me I'm crazy for wanting to paint it, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And we go to a lot of shows, and I'm not about winning awards. But I do, when I go to a show, I want to be presentable. And so my interior is pristine now. My engine is great. The body on this car is great. But there is some places where the paint is not perfect as far as someone has touched up the car before and it doesn't blend just right. And an everyday person's not going to see those places, but it does bother me. So that will be the last thing I do to this car. I plan on sanding it myself. My stepdad, he's a painter. So once I get the car sanded, and this is a year and a half down the road, he's gonna paint it for me. So that's my Camaro story. I'd like to hear more about your Camaro stories out there. So if you have a cool Camaro story or something, or just want to tell people how you got into loving these cars, these old Camaros, these third gens, I'd love to hear about it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hope you enjoyed.